Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today it's going to be a match between Flash and Free here on Ground Zero. I cast a match between these two players on the same map about 2 years ago, November 2018, but different spawning locations, so I know it's a different game. Top right-hand corner, it is the yellow Terran player, it is Flash. And on the bottom left-hand side, it is the orange Brotos player, it is Free. Alright, these guys coming at you here today. Flash under one of his many Smurf names. Free under one of his Smurf names, because everybody in the Brood War world was playing ladder games under Smurf names back in the day. And they probably still are, if we're going to be honest with ourselves. It's kind of how it works. Anywho, what are we doing here on Ground Zero? It's a fairly large map, as you can tell by the size of the bases on the mini-map here. It's a big map. There are also a lot of lava flows on it, just for visual effect. The lava doesn't actually do anything, it turns out. Anyway, this is part of a Flash versus Free replay pack that I got off of teamliquid.net in the forums. A great place to go, honestly, to get replay packs. I should start going there for more recent replay packs, right? I think it's at the point where, like, most of my stuff is from 2009 to 2016, is generally the date range on it. I believe this is a 2012. But I think maybe as time goes on, we're going to start getting replay packs posted out there for 2017 and 18 and 19, as we're in 2020 now, and on the downslope to actually head on down to 2021. Holy cannoli, if you can believe that. Anyway, this is a Flash replay, as it was requested by one of my Twitch subscribers, actually. Twitch subscriber out there, I believe he subbed, and I was like, hey, cool. He's like, yeah, I like your Brood War stuff. And I was like, great, who do you want me to cast? And he's like, well, a Flash replay if you can find one. I was like, you know what? I think we've got one here. We've got one in the folder that we can do for you. So, we're going to do Flash. Nothing too crazy from anybody right now. Throw a command center on the high ground, as there has been no SCV scouting. The cross-spawn scout out of Free is pretty awesome. This is a giant 4-player map, so to cross-spawn first, again, it's no different from scouting, you know, the top left or the top right first, but just nicely done there by Free. He gets up here, he can harass these SCVs. Another SCV's already coming down to engage with it, though. Gets a couple early shots off, doesn't take any damage himself, as you would expect out of Flash here. And yeah, it's going to be an annoying probe. They have the same move speed, so you can't kill it if it just keeps running, although when it changes direction, it doesn't manage to keep running, is the problem here. So he wants to keep scouting, maybe get a couple free shots off, but every time he stops to get free shots off, other SCVs are getting damage down on it. Expanding down below after the gateway and after the simulator. Cybernetics core is coming up here, so the presence of the Nexus tells me we're not seeing anything super crazy aggressive out of Free here. It's not going to be the traditional, you know, one base, lot of Dragoon play into an expansion. And this looks very much like the macroist of macro style play you really want to try to do against Terran, and, well, especially Flash. So I think we're walled up here. The probe would try to get back inside the house. Hasn't taken any damage. All the shield is actually back. Oh, if blocking the landing of this expansion would be Gosu. Oh, the distraction, though. He's like, hey, why don't you try to kill me? I'm building a bunker so that this command center can land. That's a good move. Good distraction. Also, there was a Marine coming anyway, so, I mean, you weren't going to block it for any length of time. But bunker's coming up, preparing for Dragoons, which they're in production, sure. But the range upgrade is nowhere near done. I mean, if Dragoons haven't shown up yet, you're probably not going to get pressured all that hard, and so that's good. Expansion is done here for the Terran player. Going into the factory, because that's how you do in this matchup, is all the factories all of the time. This is the, like, most intense part of the Terran soundtrack. Ah, it just brings back memories, man. Brings them right back. 1998. I ever tell you my parents didn't let me play this game? I was 14 or 15 when this game came out. I've told this story before, but my parents didn't want me to play it because it was too violent. So I went in on a copy with my friends. We bought it from Target, and then we burned it like 8 times. And all had our own copy. And I had my own copy, but I could only ever play it if my parents were out of the house, or if I was over at my friend's house down the street. So I'm trying to remember the first time I was ever able. I think eventually they got over it. I'm pretty sure within a year or so, they were like, you know what? Fine. It's not that bad. It's not encouraging you to, like, go out and shoot people, so that's nice. Which never was going to anyway. The video games and violence thing is just always annoying. But regardless, a good time. Good memories for sure. Going into a multiple gateways here. There's a robo coming up at the front, which is probably going to be an observatory and then an observer for scouting purposes. As you want to know exactly what's going on here. Although, again, do you need to scout all that much? It's going to be tanks, man. It's going to be tanks. It's going to be science vessels for EMP. It's going to be vultures, although no vultures coming out yet. Interestingly enough, really just going into tank. He's worried about Dragoon pressure. Again, which there really isn't any at this point. Singularity charge is still not done at 5.5 minutes, which just means, once again, the Dragoons can't do any pressure, especially when there's a tank up here. Oh, big time hit on that Dragoon. Not enough to take all of its shields out and do some damage underneath, which is kind of the bigger deal here. But there it is. Third Nexus coming on the way here from Free. I like how Free's playing this. This makes a lot of sense to me. Getting that quick third base out. We've talked about it. We've talked about it so much, you guys. But if you're playing Protoss against Terran, especially if the Terran happens to be Flash, you need to expand. You need to expand a bunch. Because they're not going to. It's really hard for a Terran to move out and feel comfortable taking a third base. So you take a third base. And you know what else? Take a fourth base. And take a fifth base. Continue pumping Dragoons the whole time. Try to keep that tank count as low as you can. And then hope you don't get dropped, because holy smokes, it is going to be a double drop ship drop here at 6 minutes. What a build. Who expects this? Who expects the double drop ship tank marine drop here? This is amazing. This is such a good play. The problem is, if the Dragoons are anywhere near this, they will destroy it. If you can get the tanks before they siege up and before they take a little corner of your base for their own, and chase away the drop ships, you're going to have a good time. Oh, the scan does not reveal. Oh, but there's high ground here. That's why you would drop. I didn't even know. Oh, that's brutal. That shuts down this natural base hardcore. Everyone go to the third. Run. Run for the third base. All right, so Observer comes out for, well, scouting purposes and for dealing with this garbage. He's got a lot of observers out, actually. And then you have to, from a low ground perspective, oh, this sucks so bad. I really think you gotta focus the tanks there, guys. Kind of trying to focus there's even an SCV here for repair. Oh, that's so mean. Keeping that tank alive. He's got 5 kills already. He does go down, and the Marines are less of a concern. Even though you're missing about a third of your shots here, if not more than that. Shooting uphill and... Okay, so that went pretty well for Free, I gotta say. That went pretty fantastically. Didn't lose that many probes, I don't think. Still is at 49 probes here, which is nice. Still on the 3 bases. Didn't lose the Nexus. Took a lot of damage on it, but the shields are still there. And they will continue to increase. Templar Archives on the way at the same time here for Free. And is he going to go for drops again? Obviously, he still has the drop ships. Neither of them died. Like, another drop might be kind of awesome, but... maybe make your own shuttle, maybe, and stick a Dragoon or 2 up here just to dissuade future drops. Might not be a bad idea. Third command center going to land here, and if you're on equal base count versus Flash, you're going to have a bad time. And at this point, we're basically on equal base count. So, we do have a shuttle. We're going to use it offensively, though, because Free is better at this game than I am. Science Vessel on the way here, too. And maybe... Oh, yes. Okay, that's why you have a turret for this very specific reason. But you unload the Zealots, you get them on top of the tanks, and you take them down, and the third base is going to be ashes here. High ground tank is helping. Additional reinforcements coming down in the form of siege tanks here. And the Zealots actually get cleaned up. That was some pretty disgusting tank micro there, making sure that it didn't die and making sure that the Zealots did. Walling off here with an engineering base. So yeah, 3 base to 3 base. Kind of getting outclassed a little bit here, man. 4th base is warping in right now for the Protoss player. He's working on shuttles. Additional shuttles here. And the question is, as that armory finishes, we're going to start making Goliaths or not. Do we need them? I mean, we are getting Arbiters. So yes, having some Goliaths for Arbiters is nice. We don't need like a million Goliaths because we don't see a transition into, yeah, Arbiters, into Sky Toss by any stretch here. Looks like we're going to try to hold the Temple Archives. Again, used for Arbiters, can also be used to research Storm. We have seen Free use Storm against Flash, actually, on this map, on the game we posted back in November of 2018. By the way, I do have a Flash replay, a replay playlist. Blah. Of course I have a replay, but it's a replay playlist. So if you're interested in more Flash stuff, like you're new to the channel and you're like, oh, a Flash game, you want more, just go to Falcon Paladin. Just go to my channel, youtube.com/Falcon Paladin, and go to playlists, and you will see a playlist dedicated entirely to Flash, as well as Bisu and as well as Jadong. So check those out. Enjoy them. I know some people have been going through them because they've been leaving comments, which again, I read every comment anybody ever makes on any of my videos. So that is always a bonus. Alright, so it is 4 base to 3 base. So Free's doing a decent job with his economy right now, but not as awesome as it could be. I'd love to see him expand this top left side and try to hold it, because he does kind of have map control at the moment. The tank count has been reduced somewhat during that drop and during that attempted attack up here as well. So far, keeping that tank count low, again, that's one of the priorities here, if not priority number 1. I think Free's done a pretty decent job at it. But 3 bases pretty quickly here for the Terran, and getting a drop down from Flash is just, it's going to be hard to overcome in general. +1 attack is done for the Protoss ground units. +1 attack is done for the mech too. Observer gets sniped as a missile turret gets built, and this has all the makings of a very slow, patient push. It's our first group of Vultures trying to move out here. They've got the speed upgrade already, because he wanted that before he moved out with them. And he's got Spider Mines, because why not at this stage? That's why we have so many Observers, though. Yeah, those Spider-Man's not really accomplishing much other than delaying the Dragoons from chasing these Vultures down. And boy, alright, they know they're going to die in here. They're coming into this base to kill as many probes as they can, and honestly doing a great job focusing them down in the face of taking cannon fire here too. So these are YOLO Vultures. All of them are dead, but it's 62 probes to 73 SCVs after the carnage. The 4th base is not super happily set up right now with economy, and the top left-hand base is coming up here too. I love it. I love that. So many Vultures swarming, though. He's producing how many at a time? He's going Charon boosters, but again, no Sky Toss, just Arbiters right now. It's going to be fine. Don't you worry your pretty little head here. Boom, boom. I'd say pretty good Dragoon control here out of the Protoss. I have no complaints about it whatsoever. He's doing great. I say as he takes some hits to the face with Spider Mines, but otherwise he's been pretty fantastic. Clearing the Spider Mines out, keeping map control, keeping the Vultures from doing too much damage to his economy with the exception of this run here. I don't know about engaging here. There are a billion tanks present. There are like 15 or 18 tanks here right now, so back it out, man. You need to stasis a whole bunch of this and then go for it. Without stasis, you're done, which is why you've been making these Arbiters. So they should have good energy. Okay, that one doesn't, but maybe other Arbiters totally do. He's got to have more than one, doesn't he? Maybe it died to the Goliath. I wasn't paying attention. Entirely possible. I love the base taking down here, too. All right, so he knows what he's doing. Actually, this is not a base at all. This is a gateway and a cannon. I guess trying to make sure it's hard for Flash to expand down that way, but he's maxed out at 14 minutes with +2/+1 upgrades. This is looking pretty crushy right now. Again, Arbiter really needs to get off a stasis. An EMP from a Terran science vessel would destroy everything at the moment. Is he base racing? He is entirely sacking this 4th base. And it's dead. Alright, so yeah, it's base race time. This is, I'm giving you everything that I have. and I'm going to try to kill all your stuff. But again, the delay with the spider mines is a problem for the Protoss. It gives Flash more time to make stuff back home. It gives them more time to come flank you and surround your face right now. Okay, so 2 Arbiters are here. One of them is maxed out on energy at 200 because it doesn't have the upgrade. He doesn't, well, he knows there's the surround coming. He knows. And here we go. Zealot's jumping down here before the tanks are set up. Good stasis happening here as well. Not too bad, actually. The stasis tanks are causing problems, not helping at all. Causing some pathing problems here at the same time. And the counterattack to getting surrounded. I like it. A lot of Zealots died, and a lot of Zealots are gone. Oh no, we lost the Nexus here. And there's a tank making sure that probes can evacuate very easily. Still, it was a maxed out Flash. Oh, 3 Dragoons die. Lost his detection. 6 Dragoons go down to spider mines. You can't afford to lose those right now, good friend. You're in trouble. You're in a lot of trouble all of a sudden right now. 147 to 155 to 166. Economically, it's all right, I would say, for the Protoss. Having that top left-hand base is awesome. There's still no 4th base from Flash, which is going to help him in the long run right now, or help Free in the long run right now. Getting Storm, but it's not done yet. Working on the Storm. The Vulture's coming on up. Oh, it's a free High Templar. Hold on. High Templar escapes to the safety, the relative safety of the cannons. Tanks sieging up. Again, this is such a Terran-favored map that you can set up on these cliffs and fire on bases. And Zergs have struggled with this. Protoss have struggled with this. Flash is working on +3 attack. He's working on +2 armor. Another Nexus goes down. This top right-hand base. Oh, that pylon was powering these cannons. It doesn't matter. There's tanks here anyway. This is the slow and steady downfall right now of the Protoss player. Free is just not... There's just not enough. He's sending out +2 Zealots with +1 armor on top of these tanks to see what he can make happen, but no. No, it's not working. It's not working out for him at all. And when there's a Terran army sieged up at your main, you better hope you have a home away from home. You better hope you have a 4th base with like 8 gateways over there you're constantly producing off of, and you've gotten all of your probes out. Maybe with some of these Arbiters for extra recalls, man. Has he actually researched recall? I'm not sure that he's researched recall at all, you guys. It seems like an obstacle to victory right now. Probe count getting decimated. There are 41 probes remaining to 72 SCVs. 4th base is happily running now for Flash. Because, again, how long can you expect that to happen? Did he EMP'd both of these Arbiters? High Templar are coming out, but they don't have enough energy to storm anything. Army coming down to the bottom right. Yeah, Free is just not. Free is not handling this well. He's getting harassed everywhere. He's losing High Templar. He's gonna actually do a pretty good job taking out a bunch of the SCVs here at the 3rd base of Flash. He evacuates the SCVs extremely well, though. A bunch of them do mineral walk and get the heck on out of there. But the bottom right-hand base is taking direct tank fire. Again, the main base is toast. He's not able to reproduce his production. These probes are not getting back to work right now. Free is not having a good day at all. He's not having a good time of it, as the English would say, I guess. I'm not an Englishman. I'm just friends with some on Discord, mostly. Alright, man. One last hurrah here. I just don't see it happening. He's killing some SCPs. He's got some DTs in the mix. There are no science vessels present, so the detection not happening for these, for the DTs. And the cloaked units in general, because there is an Arbiter present. So, I don't know, like, Flash is mined out of his natural. He's mined out of his main. He's got his 3rd base rolling. His 4th base is toast. There is income up here for Free, but again, he's not producing additional gateways like he needs to do. He's got a bunch down to the bottom right. He did manage to save this base by sending down a part of his army to deal with this. The scans are great. Completely unsieged siege tanks are having a pretty good time right now. Science vessels providing detection. Good storms on the Vultures, though. But it's 157 to 100 total supply. It's just not. It's too much. It is too much yellow on the map, and that's your good game. Free taps out. He recognizes he's done. He's at 92 total supply right now. He recognized there was this full base, which again, he could have wiped this out. This is a replacement 4th base from Flash, as, you know, he is landing his actual 4th base too. So 5 bases here. Again, if he'd just done a better job by building additional gateways at the top left-hand base, right, continuing to pump units, continuing to spend his money, maybe evacuated his probes ahead of the army showing up down here. You got to have the map awareness to know when that army's going to show up and recall them out, like research recall, or just run them across the map if they get there, if they can get out there before Flash's army arrives, right? But as it stands, Flash opens with a pretty decent drop, denies a bunch of mining time there while he has his own natural base. He gets his 3rd base up pretty quickly, and once you're on three bases, you can pretty much max out on a ton of tanks, Vultures, Goliath, Science Vessels. Then a 4th base is kind of just gravy at that point. I mean, the longer the game goes on, the more you definitely need that, but don't ya know? You don't need it to max out once. Hoorah! Well, let's go ahead and check out that final score. Hit that like button if you enjoyed that game. I think it was pretty good. With that opening drop, pretty good harassment. It was a lot closer than I thought it would be, to be honest. I know Free's a great player, but this is Flash we're talking about. Yeah, both players killing the exact same number. 194 to 195 is virtually the same thing. They lost about the same, but see this produced 250 to 349. Flash produced 350 units to 250 of the Protoss. And yeah, it's not like it's Zerg, right? It's not where Zerg is going to make a ton of stuff. Protoss is going to make about the same number of units as the Terran is, all things considered. Look, they both produce 75 buildings too. Only, you know, 50 to 3 is the lost there. And resources, fairly close. Free mined more minerals. Did end up spending about 1,000 more than Flash did. But the tanks were incredibly cost efficient. There were a couple engagements there that really went in the Terran's favor, as you would expect it to do. And he wins. And again, 19 minutes and 53 seconds. All right, that is going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.